Hello everyone, I am Jay Krishna Raju. I am working as Senior Audit Officer in Regional Training Institute, Hyderabad. Today, I would like to give my presentation on pay fixation for central government employees. I hope this presentation will help you how your pay is fixed and how your and know how the pay and allowances are being drawn in central government offices. Today I want to discuss about the pay fixation as per 7th Pay Commission. Before going to discuss about the pay fixation, I want to give a brief introduction on pay fixation. Pay Commission. Pay Commission is a body set up by the central government. The Pay Commission is an administrative system or mechanism to determine the salaries of government employees. The Pay Commission recommends. The Pay Commission gives recommendations to alter the salary structures of employees who work under central government. Since India received independence, 7 pay commissions have been set up. It is being implemented once in 10 years. Some of the state governments or public sector units are being drawn once in 5 years based on their statutes or and setup which was established by the institutes. The Pay Commission recommendations are applicable the persons belonging to Defense Forces, All India Services, and officials who are working under Union Territories. I want to discuss the structure of presentation. There are 4 components in this presentation, basic concepts. In basic concepts, I want to discuss about how the pay and allowances are being drawn in the central government offices, how pay DA, HRA, TA are arrived, and what is the basis for drawing particular basic pay to the particular employee. With these basic concepts are being discussed in this presentation. Second slide will be 7th CPC key provisions, in which I want to discuss what are the basic provisions of 6th CPC and how the pay is fixed with reference to 6th Pay Commission to 7th Pay Commission, and the key provisions which are to be implemented in 7th Pay Commission. Special circumstances means I want to discuss employees who are getting promotion, appointed, or financial upgraded, who employees who got MACP promotion, employees who got punishments. In the different special circumstances, how the pay is being fixed will be discussed in under special circumstances. Along with the special circumstance, I want to discuss the exercises with the examples. Today I want to discuss what are the components of gross salary. Whenever any official is appointed or promoted or got promotion, first we have to decide what is his basic pay. There are 5 basic components of gross salary, that is basic pay, dearness allowance, house rent allowance, transport allowance, DA and TA. These are the 5 basic concepts to draw a salary. In addition, some of the officials may draw special pay or personal pay, deputation allowance and training allowance based on the conditions in which they were appointed. Basic pay. Basic pay is the fundamental component of pay. It is the primary component of the pay because based on this, other allowances are being drawn as a percentage of that allowance. Here, basic pay means an amount drawn monthly by a government servant in a particular scale attached to the post held by him. Based on basic pay only, other allowances are being drawn as certain percentage of basic pay. DA, HRA will be given based on the basic pay itself. DA is a calculation on inflation. And calculated certain percentage on basic pay. Whenever pay commission is announced, for first 6 months there will be no DA, and from 7th month onwards DA will be announced. Usually DA is announced once in 6 months. DA is calculated on basic pay as a certain on the basis of certain percentage announced by the Government of India from time to time. HRA is granted to the government employees who are staying at private rental accommodation. HRA is not eligible to draw to the employees who are staying at government accommodation. HRA is granted certain percentage fixed to the government employee and on the basis of a particular place where he is staying, and allowance that percentage is granted to the particular city in which he resides. There are 3 types of cities classified by the central government: X type of city, Y type of city, and Z type of city. X type of official who is staying at X type of city, he will get 24%. Y type of city, he will get 16%, and Z type of city, he will get 8% of basic pay. What is the meaning of X type of city? What is the basis for classification of X type of city? X type of city is nothing but a city contains more than 50 lakh people and above, which is classified by central government as X city, in which the employees will get 24% HRA on basic pay. Examples are Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Pune. Y type of city, population from 5 lakhs to 50 lakhs covered under the city are being sanctioned as 16% HRA on basic pay. Examples are Tirunanthapuram, Vijayawada, Patna, Guwahati, etc. Z type of city, the cities which are not covered either X type of city and Y types of city will be treated as Z type of city. The officials who are working under Z type of city, they will get 8% of HRA on their basic pay. Transport allowance is sanctioned as an allowance involved with the expenditure in commuting from place of residence and place of duty. It is an allowance sanctioned based on the pay level and cities classified as mentioned in the annexure with reference to the TA, that is transport allowance. For example, if an employee who is drawing pay level 9 and above, he will get 7,200 as plus DA thereon, and employees who are posted in other places, they will get 3,600 plus DA thereon. In the same manner, level 3 to 8, they will get 3,600 under cities classified as per annexure and DA thereon. Employees posted in other places, they will get 1,800 plus DA thereon. Employees who are drawing pay level 1 and 2 will get 13,1350 plus DA thereon. In other places, 900 plus DA thereon. Employees who are appointed are declared as physically disabled will get double the rates as mentioned in this table. The physically disabled employees will get double the rates mentioned in this table. This is the facility extended to the physical disabled employees. And DA and TA is calculated based on which the TA is being drawn by the employee. DA percentage is the same as the percentage of DA which is announced by the government for once in 6 months from time to time. So we already discussed about the pay, DA, HRA, TA and DA and TA. These are 5 basic components are clubbed together and formed as gross salary. I prepared a table how the people who are staying X city, Y city and just city will get pay DA, HRA and TA in any special pay, deputation allowance and training allowance and get the gross salary in this table. I want to give an example. Suppose if an employee who is drawing 80,000 in X type of city, he will get 17% HRA. As of now, we are drawing 17% HRA, 17% DA. So DA 17% will be calculated on basic pay. The resultant figure will be 13,600. And HRA who is staying X type of city, he will get 24%. This 24% will be calculated on basic pay. Resulted figure is 19,200. If an employee who is staying in a particular class of city, drawing a pay level 9 and above, will get 7,200. And DA on 7,200 is 17%. Resulted figure is 1,224. Suppose if an employee who is working on deputation, he will get 5% of deputation allowance. Suppose with this, if an employee who is on deputation drawing 80,000 will get 1,25,224 as the gross salary. What are the components of gross salary deductions and net amount? The salary will be decided net amount will arrive after subtracting of deductions from gross salary. We already discussed about the gross salary. Then what are the deductions comes under for which a government employee is to be the deductions will be recovered and arrived the net amount. There are two types of deductions are there: government deductions and non-government deductions. Government deductions, examples CGHS, Central Government Health Scheme, which is a scheme gives medical facility to all the central government employees. Certain amount will be recovered as a deduction from the salary of a government employee. Group insurance scheme is a social security scheme, which is also a certain amount is deducted from the salary of the government employee in the form of government deductions. If any employee who is appointed prior 1/1/2004 will be allotted GPF, General Provident Fund. Minimum percentage of GPF subscription should be 6%. Maximum should be the basic salary, basic pay of the employee. And on GPF GPF advance also will be drawn and deducted in the form of installments. Some of the advances are interest bearing advances are there: house building loan advance and car loan advance, motorcycle loan advance, computer advance. These advances are also treated as government deductions. After completion of these advances, recovery of these advances, interest on these advances also will affected through government deductions only. If an employee got excess paid in previous month, he will be that amount will be recovered in the form of ROP, that is recovery of overpayments. These are constituted government deductions. What are the non-government deductions? Non-government deductions are nothing but payment of LIC premium, payment of professional tax, payment of benevolent funds scheme, and if any other dues, association, recreation, these are all comes under non-government deductions. Government deductions are being maintained in a concerned PO section, and non-government deductions are amount will be deducted from the salary and directly credited to the concerned head of account. With this, after deducting government deduction and non-government deductions from gross salary, the official will get net amount, that is a take-home pay to the official, which is credited to the bank account. Suppose while drawing pay and allowances, suppose if an employee applies 30 days EL, he will get full salary and there will be no effect DA HRA. But if an employee applies leave covers in a calendar month TA and DA and TA will not be given to the particular employee. Suppose, for example, if an employee applies 1st January to 31st January and reported on 1st February, he will not get TA and DA and TA. As per rules of TA transport allowance, if an employee who is on leave in a particular calendar month, he will not get TA and DA and TA. Suppose if an employee applies HPL of 30 days, he will get half pay, half DA, and if it is a complete calendar month, he will not get TA and TA and DA. HRA will not be affected. Suppose if an employee who applied for EOL, either private affairs or medical grounds, he will not get any amount on from pay and in the form of DA or TA and DA and TA. Suppose if an employee who is applied leave more than 180 days, he will not get, along with TA, DA and TA, he will not get HRA also. HRA can be drawn an employee who is not availed leave less than 180 days. If an employee applies leave more than 180 days, he will not get HRE from the date on which 181 days starts. Usually in maternity leave, some of the employees got 186 months maternity leave, on which if they completes 180 days, from the day on which it completes, HRA will not be drawn to the particular employee. In this way, the pay and allowances are being drawn by the government officers. With this, I want to conclude. I want to commence next slide. What are the basic concepts of Sixth Pay Commission, and on the basis of Sixth Pay Commission, how the pay is being fixed in Seventh Pay Commission, and the special provisions of each type of condition, that is promotion, appointment, merging of scale, if any employee got punishment. These special circumstances will be discussed in next slide, followed by the exercises. Thank you. I want to conclude now. Bye.